What's going on, everyone? Back for another episode of Nickel and Dimes. I'm Harry Hughes, here with Caleb. Back at it again, another episode. It's a Friday, so vibes are up here in Conway. And yeah, another episode. Big week of college football coming up, and I'm pretty pumped. How you feeling?
So pumped, the weather has changed. We're starting to get a little fall weather down here.
Definitely.
Good for the soul, I was able to put on some sweatpants today and a sweatshirt. Felt great, man. Ready to go. Hyped up for this weekend of ball that we got coming up. I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I'm a flip-flop wearer. Wear flip-flops all year.
Yeah.
I go to class today.
Yeah.
I'm freezing.
Yeah.
It's football weather.
It's football weather.
Best time of the year.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's got to be what it is.
Yeah.
Fall, football weather, playoff baseball too. It's a great time to be alive right now.
I was thinking of going back to football practice in high school.
Yeah.
I felt like that type of weather, like walking out there after school. You don't really want to practice, but,
Nah.
But you got to.
Got to.
You got to.
Got to strap the pads up and get ready to go.
Yeah, and who's got to if you want to play, you got to practice. And this week, a lot of playing going on.
Whole lot of playing going on.
Probably the biggest week of college football so far. The Red River rivalry.
That's definitely a tongue twister.
It is, because it used to be the Red River Shootout. It used to be pretty easy, but that wasn't allowed anymore. Texas and Oklahoma. Texas is the big favorite going in. And they've been the big favorite past few years, but last year, Oklahoma got a big upset against them.
Yeah, for sure. Oklahoma coming off a win in last year's Red River rivalry. But Texas coming in, number one team in the country. A lot of high hopes on the season. It's just the build up to this game just sounds like the perfect downfall for Texas.
It'd be an ultimate Texas move.
Yeah, and it just feels like going into a rivalry game, your most hated rival too, neutral site game because these games are never played at Texas or Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So, Oklahoma's got to be hyped up to play this game. Got to be thinking that they're pitching we get to end their season or not necessarily ruin their season, but
we're gonna be people to beat them first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be fun.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm excited. Is Quinn playing?
Yeah, Quinn Ewers in his first week back, the Texas quarterback. He's been out for a few weeks. They've had a bye, obviously, but Arch Manning came in and played great football. But they're gonna go back to the veteran, go back to the senior. It should be interesting. I assume he'll look fine. They're not gonna rush him back, especially with the 12-team playoff, where you can't afford a loss. So I think we're gonna expect a fully healthy Quinn Ewers. And this Texas team, last year losing to Oklahoma, you also Dylan Gabriel led Oklahoma, which is very different than what's going on right now. Michael Hawkins Jr. and whatever's going on with Jackson Arnold. You're gonna keep Hawkins, I assume.
Got to.
They're going to. But yeah, so huge game, Texas. All the pressure's on them. Oklahoma coming off a tough few weeks. They can play spoiler here. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, this definitely could end up. I think Texas should really just be able to handle this game. It really should. We're saying,
close.
Yeah, we're saying that it could be. It just seems like it's going to be a downfall for Texas. But if you really look at it in the aspect of everything, it really shouldn't. Texas should come. Texas is a way better team. Oklahoma, we saw how they looked when they played a pretty good team already when they played Tennessee. And they struggled against Houston 2 weeks ago. They or not 2 weeks in the beginning of the year. They struggled against Auburn too.
It sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how this Oklahoma team looks. The strong suit of this defense or of this team is their defense and Brent Venables, and their head coach being a defensive guy.
Yep, from Clemson.
This is their offense. Just so many question marks.
Which is so weird. Imagine saying that 5 years ago.
Right.
Oklahoma, they got the defense, but their
it literally
offense is
just
terrible.
flip-flopped.
Exact opposite. And I think a thing that could play into helping Oklahoma is if you look at Alabama and Auburn every other year, especially what's in Jordan Hare, Auburn plays Alabama really well.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't. Alabama's 10 times, 100 times better football than last year.
Majority of the time.
Alabama obviously wins 4th and 31, I believe it was 4th and 29, something like that. Jalen Miller hits the miracle to Bond in the back of the end zone, obviously beating Auburn. And that game shouldn't have been close at all. That was a huge shock result. Well, shock that was close.
Even close, yeah.
Same thing, 2 years before that, Bryce Young has to go on a crazy drive to beat Auburn and Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
So I think these rivalry games, it brings the best out of the worst team, kind of. Kind of like the Bengals-Chiefs thing we were saying. They get up for it. And I think it's funny because I was talking about Isaiah Bond beating Alabama. Now he's part of Texas on the same thing, being on the team that should win. So yeah, I think it's going to be a much more competitive game than you think going in. But also, it could be 50-0 Texas. I think it's either one way or the other. I don't think Oklahoma can't blow out Texas. I see Texas either beating them by 30+ or beating them by one score. I don't think there's anything in the middle ground.
That's where I was gonna go to. I don't think it's gonna be like a last minute Texas drive where the score is 38-31 or something like that.
Yeah.
If this is a close game, it's gonna be like a 2017 type of game.
Yep.
Well, and that's for Oklahoma. That's what you want because you can't
You
Well,
can't
they
outgun
should
them.
know that they can't keep up with. They can't get in a shootout with this Texas team because this Texas offense is elite, and so is their defense. And Oklahoma's offense is not subpar, or is not up to the same level as what they've been in the past. And um, it is kind of like astonishing in what you said there, Harry. Like think about saying like 5 years ago, like Oklahoma has a mediocre offense. Like
Yeah, 5 years ago they were coming out Lincoln Riley, all
yeah,
those guys.
exactly. Like,
Nuts.
yeah, and honestly, this has kind of been like the struggle for Oklahoma for the past since Lincoln Riley has left. Like their offense, their team in general, has just been mediocre. And I don't know. Maybe this is a game where they get back to being the Oklahoma they were for the last 5 years, but it's definitely a tall task.
It is looking all around, and it's like Oklahoma. Like, yeah, they lost to Tennessee. They got embarrassed by Tennessee, I think.
Yeah,
They lose. Like, they beat Auburn, but Auburn's even worse than you would ever believe. Auburn's terrible.
Auburn's
they barely
horrible.
beat them. They squeaked by Houston. They haven't had like a really convincing win against a quality opponent this year. So Oklahoma, they gotta dig deep. They gotta find their hatred. They gotta bring it out for the Red River.
yeah. I mean, they better because if they don't come prepared to play, it's gonna get ugly, and they're gonna get embarrassed.
I love the conversation around this whole thing, this whole game, where it's like, oh yeah, like this rivalry means so much more now because it's in the SEC.
Yeah,
I think that's bullshit. This rivalry's been great, but in the Big 12, wherever
Yeah.
they're played, it matters.
yeah.
And yeah, it is good. I think it benefits the SEC more than it does these schools that they're in the conference now. Now it's just another great rivalry in this conference.
Another hatred rivalry that's filled with hatred in the SEC, just like Alabama, Auburn.
Tennessee, Alabama,
Yeah,
LSU, Alabama. Alabama, everyone just hates them. I mean, it makes sense when you're that good. Like,
you're gonna
People are gonna hate you.
Yeah, people. I was just about to say that. I took the words out of my mouth. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What you think Texas is gonna handle them? You think it's gonna be a close game, or you think Texas?
I think Texas puts the whooping on.
I think Texas drops 50.
I think Arch Manning gets in the game, and it's not a benching. I think Ewers and his boys, they get that
the day's
job
over.
done.
Yeah,
Yep,
the
they get
day's
him out.
over, and then it just doesn't end with Arch because Arch is gonna come in.
And they're gonna let him throw that ball a little bit because why
Yeah.
not? It's Arch Manning. Because it's
And-
like there's no letting up.
And why not embarrass your rival?
Exactly,
A
there's
little
no
bit
letting up on
more?
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Texas wins huge. I could see them like because this is their year. It feels that way. Like this should be. Best
The
Texas
chips are
team.
starting to fall their way and
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
So that game's of the big games of ranked matchups this weekend. I think it's the least competitive.
Yeah.
Going over to Oregon and Ohio State.
That.
That's must-watch TV. That's appointment television.
Ooh.
It's at night too, so everything will be good.
Come
In
on now.
Eugene, people forget Oregon came into Ohio State just a few years ago and
Yep.
beat Ohio State in a shocking upset.
It was kind of like the beginning of the rise of Oregon football, like where they are today.
Yeah, the reemergence.
Yeah, exactly. With against that was a CJ Stroud led Ohio State
It
team at
was.
home.
Yeah,
I remember watching that game, smiling ear to ear.
a Michigan man
Yeah,
himself.
smiling ear to ear, just watching. I forget who was the quarterback. Was it Bo Nix and was it Bo Nix?
I don't think it was Bo Nix.
Who was the quarterback for them?
It wouldn't be Herbert.
No, I was struggling thinking about the quarterback.
Because Bo
But-
Nix was the last 2 years. It was before that, I think.
Nah, because if last year was Stroud's rookie year, then if he
Stroud started 2 years though.
yeah, he did. Well, I remember just smiling ear to ear, just being happy with the downfall of Ohio State, because that was supposed to be their year too.
Yeah, it was. They were supposed to be great that year.
Yeah, but I mean, this is gonna be an interesting game. I really don't know where I'm gonna go with this, Harry. I really don't know, because on the others, like, you think about Ohio State, like they got a defense and they got a very elite offense. They got one of the best freshmen in the game right now at receiver in Jeremiah Smith. Then they got their run game. They got a two-headed monster with
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Trayvon Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. So I really, it's like I don't know where to go. And Oregon has been struggling. I don't know about Dylan Gabriel. That's really my concern. I don't
Yeah.
know about that Oregon offense. I thought it was gonna be they were gonna take a step up from last year. I thought their offense was gonna be even more elite because Ted Johnson came back, and then they added Evan Stewart from the transfer portal from Texas A&M, a very talented wide receiver. So I thought their offense was gonna be super elite. Hasn't really been that way, and I really don't know why. When you look on paper, it should be. They should be super elite. They should be dropping 40, 50, almost 50 points a game. But I don't know. I think Ohio State's defense is going to be able to put this offense in check. And as much as I hate to say it, I could definitely see Ohio State winning this game by like 2 scores.
Yeah, I agree. Just once I looked it up, Anthony Brown, the Boston College transfer, was the quarterback of Oregon that game.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
just something
yeah.
about that game. the crazy to look at is JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson. All of them over 115 yards receiving.
And they all are still playing football to this day.
Yeah, but they all had a huge game. They still lost,
Yeah.
which I thought was crazy. Stroud had 484 yards, 3 touchdowns with a pick, but it wasn't enough.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kayvon Thibodeau was very destructive.
I believe he was out that game.
Was he?
I don't think he played that game. Yeah, he did not play.
He did not play that game. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a nuts
very
game.
off.
That was a crazy upset in the middle of the day. But now going back, 2024, game right in front of us on tomorrow. You look, as you were saying, Judkins, he's averaging over almost 8 yards a carry. I don't know if Oregon's big enough up front to combat that, especially with the Ohio State offensive line.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, Oregon should be one of the best teams in the country. And you look at their ranking, number 3 in the country. I think they're not close to being the 3rd best team in this country.
No.
Georgia and Bama losing, both those teams I think would smack Oregon. That's my personal opinion.
I think Tennessee would too.
Yeah, I think all those 3 SEC teams should probably be able to beat Oregon, but since they have losses, like I think the Bama loss to Vandy is a huge fluke.
Yeah.
And Georgia losing to Bama is just like, okay, those are 2 of the top teams in the country. But I'll still take all those teams over Oregon. And I think Ohio State makes sense as the number 2 team in the country. I think they've looked the part so far. Their defense is playing unbelievable. And as you were saying, Jeremiah Smith, him and Ryan Williams, 2 best freshman receivers in the country. And obviously you see Williams get that huge moment against Georgia.
Yeah.
I think we can see Smith have a moment like that against Oregon. Prime time in a huge, highly ranked matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I look out for him to make huge plays. Got Jabbar Muhammad for Oregon, playing corner. The Washington transfer. He's a veteran on this defense. Obviously new to the team, but he's had a few years starting college football in the Pac-12, playing in the national championship. You need him to shut down this kid.
Yeah, but
it's tough, but
that's a tall task because not only Jeremiah, he's elite route runner. He's big and physical
huge.
too.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to guard a physical receiver because like the way to slow a receiver down before he gets going is to press him,
jam him. Yeah.
But you can't jam. Jeremiah Smith almost kind of reminds me of AJ Brown a little bit.
He's an anomaly.
Yeah, he's fat. Like AJ Brown is very physical at the point because you can't get up there and press him because he'll just shrug you off. He'll throw you off of him.
And also can run a really nice route.
Exactly. So, he's like the opposite of Ryan Williams, but they're both just so like they're just tough guards and they're a very tall task. And then going back to Ohio State's defense, their defense is nice this year too.
Yeah,
like they got a nice defense. I think their defense gets overlooked by how talented their offense is, and it just makes Will Howard's job so much easier.
Yeah, he's like a Mac Jones type role.
Exactly. That's a great comparison actually, because it's so true. Because that's how a Bama team is usually. This is how a Bama team is usually built up.
Yeah.
And like this, Caleb Downs transfer from Bama.
Yeah, probably the best safety in the country.
Exactly, leading that Ohio State secondary and Ohio State defense in general, and they just got dudes everywhere, and I think they're gonna be too much to handle for Oregon.
Yeah, they brought back Denzel Burke, who's he might have been a first round, second round pick in the draft last year.
Yeah, he comes back.
He comes back just to help this team, makes him even more dangerous. They still have Sawyer too, right, on the D line.
Yeah, and they have
JTT.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was thinking of when I was mentioning their defense. Like they got guys at every level of their defense.
A lot of seniors too, which really matters.
Well, because these guys came back for vengeance.
Yep.
These guys came back for vengeance.
Very similar, I think, to the 2018 Clemson team that their whole D line returned. It's the year Trevor Lawrence freshman year, and they beat the bag out of Bama in the national championship because all these guys lost in 2017. They returned. It was Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, who the end, Cleveland Farrell, and there's another end I forget on that team, but that defensive line. I think they had 4 guys go in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Farrell, Wilkins, Lawrence, and the other guys slipped my mind, but they were all beasts.
Yeah, I don't know. It slipped my mind too. It's kind of bothering me a little bit. Not gonna lie, but yeah, they were all dogs, and like this Ohio State team is definitely out for some blood, and I feel like Oregon just caught the wrong team at the wrong time, honestly, and I feel like that is probably, unfortunately, as a Michigan fan, this is probably like one of the statement games that Ohio State's gonna have.
Yeah, and then another one probably a little further down the road.
That's not a statement game. We suck.
It doesn't matter.
We suck.
It doesn't matter if you
suck. This is probably like the worst. Like even when they put 60 on us, though, that Michigan team is a lot better than this current Michigan team.
Yeah, but you guys have beat them 3 times in a row just to get the boogeyman off the back. It's gonna be a big thing.
I mean that is true, but like they caught us at one of our worst times.
Yeah, and you guys beat them when they were still good.
Exactly. I feel like that should hold a lot more weight than them beating us when we're bad. Like,
But maybe don't get bad.
but like maybe like it's maybe
If your
just,
coach didn't get banned from college football for 10 years and then go to the NFL, maybe this wouldn't happen.
he would have got banned. You think he would have got banned?
He did it. He's like
Oh yeah, he did get banned. Yeah, that's true.
I still love Jim Harbaugh.
I mean, he's a dog.
He's a Michigan man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, I think Ohio State wins. I think it's a lower scoring game than people will think it is because you're like, oh, Dylan Gabriel is elite. Well, he was elite. This year to be seen, really.
Yeah.
Evan Stewart, Tez Johnson.
He's still.
Both those guys are so talented. And what's the other receiver they got? Oh my God, the one they got from it's not Ja'Cory Brooks. It's the one from Bama. Look it up. They have another receiver. Trayshawn Holden. Trayshawn Holden's our other receiver. Those are 3 dogs out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this offense is so, they got so many weapons on paper, but I just don't know, Harry. I don't know. Like, I feel like this Ohio State defense, especially that secondary, is probably gonna shut them down a little bit. Because Evan Stewart's kind of had a quiet year. Like, I expect him to have kind of a breakout year. And when I found out he transferred to Oregon, I was like, oh shoot, he's gonna have a breakout year. He's probably gonna go to the draft and be a first rounder.
Yeah.
But he's having a quiet year.
He's kind of just been a disappointing career.
Yeah.
He comes out 5-star, and you can see the talent. He's very Kadarius Toney-like, I think. Whereas if
Yeah.
you see him play for a little bit, you're like, wow, this kid has all the talent in the world.
Well, he's kind of trapped at Texas A&M.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
that. But even still, like, you know he has all the talent, and he's just like, you can't really put it together all the time. There's like a concentration drop here and there. Just little things that are derailing him from being like a truly great receiver. Whereas you look over Ohio State, like Ibuka and Smith, that's one of the best duos in the whole country.
Yeah.
Like they complement each other so well. Same thing with the backfield. And we have Will Howard. All he has to do is just get the ball to these guys. They're going to be open.
Makes his job so easy. See, someone's gonna waste a draft pick on him.
Yep.
And then they're gonna be mad when he turns out to be bad.
But the draft pick will be like a 3rd or 4th rounder. But those are valuable still.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
those
always
are still valuable. Those are gems that you can find. Like, he really should be just like a 6th rounder or 7th rounder. Someone that you take a chance on.
Yeah, just a flyer. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's an all right athlete. He's
Yeah.
an underrated athlete, but he's not an insane thrower at all. And like I see a lot of people on Twitter. He's very good for one of the worst turnovers you'll see ever once a week.
Yeah.
But if you can keep it to once a week, the team's good enough where that doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. If there was anyone who could go one and done, and I think could have almost an immediate impact in the league, in the NFL, would probably be Jeremiah Smith.
I like that. Another one. Oh, it was a few years back. The only person I ever thought could do it was Derek Stingley after his first year at LSU.
Yeah.
He was amazing. They had the film of him in practice just shutting down Chase and Jefferson.
Yeah.
And those guys went to the NFL immediately after that. Obviously, had quick success. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying with Smith. He's got the body of an NFL lineman.
Yeah.
No, an NFL receiver, like a big NFL receiver.
Exactly.
He's big in a lot of these guys. He's got the speed.
It's gonna be exciting for when he comes to the league.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun in a few years. Who goes, wow, receiver 1. I think it'll be him over Williams just because of the sheer size.
Yeah.
It's like very.
It's a
similar-
safer bet.
It's like Chase versus Waddle. Like I know
Yeah.
they went 5'6", but Chase was the obvious one over him because he's bigger than him.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
he can do a little more like route running. He can like beat press much easier and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Those hits take a toll on you in the league.
They do. They add up.
Big boy hits.
Well, speaking of Jamar Chase, Derek Stingley, and Justin Jefferson, LSU's got a huge game this weekend.
Who they play?
They got the Ole Miss running Rebels. The Ole Miss running Rebels.
Hottie Toddy coming in.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin and his crew coming into Death Valley. Real Death Valley. It's going to be fun. Last year these teams played. Ole Miss defeats LSU. And probably one of the more fun games of the whole year. I think there was over 100 total points scored. This is a complete war between these teams. You got Jaden Daniels, the Heisman winner. Aaron
Dude, he
Donald.
got killed in that last game, right? He got like, smacked.
rocked, fumble, but then he got right back up
Yeah.
and threw for like 400 yards after that.
Yeah.
Just throwing it to Thomas, Neighbors, Kyron Lacey. Kyron Lacey's still there, obviously. But, yeah, it was an awesome game. Super fun to watch. But the LSU defense couldn't get a stop either. You got Jackson Dart throwing darts all around the field. They got Quinshon Judkins, we just talked about. Last year was at Ole Miss. He was running the ball over the Tigers. But now these are two different teams. Ole Miss is trying to become more – not that they're an unserious team before, but last year they couldn't win a national championship. They didn't have the line to do it. They go out, use the portal, use recruiting to find more guys. They think they can make them an actual national championship contender. So they'll be a more serious team, more in the trenches, more like closer to a Bama, Georgia than they were to, we'll say, like a Washington State with Mike Leach, where they're just trying to air it out all over the place. You look at LSU, they get rid of Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator. Or no, they bring him in, they get rid of Matt House. Matt House is gone. He's gone. Everyone relax. They got Blake Baker, new DC. It's looked rough early in the year, but slowly, week by week, it's been getting better. So I'm actually really excited for this matchup. I'm a Tigers fan, love LSU, and I need to beat Ole Miss. They walk around like they're Ole Miss. Like, you're not that big of a deal. Like, your thing's all the shark.
Whoa, it's Lane Kiffin,
Yeah,
bro.
Lane Kiffin's
He's a
great.
big deal.
He's a big deal.
Lane Kiffin's a big deal. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. Kind of. Like, he hasn't won anything as a head coach, really.
Ole Miss. You don't like the aura Ole Miss has? You don't like the
Losing to Kentucky at home didn't get me fired up, no. Can't say it did.
So you think you guys can like handily win this game? Or?
No, I think it's going to be a war.
Okay.
I think it's going to come down to the last possession.
I hope it is.
I do like LSU to win, and the rankings confuse me. Ole Miss is number 9 in the country. That's great and well for them. LSU's 13, but I look at it. LSU lost by 1 score in Las Vegas to a good USC team who was playing good football. Ole Miss is allowed to lose to Kentucky at home, and they're ranked above the Tigers. It doesn't make sense. It's insulting to anyone who watches the game. It is. It's a disgrace to football. Especially when you look at the fact that LSU loss was week 1. So they've only won since then. Ole Miss allowed to lose 2 weeks ago to a team at home. They couldn't score. Their offense was supposed to be the big bad boogeyman. They couldn't do nothing against the Kentucky defense. They couldn't do shit. Now you got LSU loses to a good USC team. Obviously, they've struggled a bit in Big Ten play, but they still played Michigan well. They lost by 1 score in the Big House. That's respectable.
They also just lost to Minnesota too.
Yeah, but Kentucky loses every week, I feel like. Kentucky got embarrassed by South Carolina, who LSU beat. It's not making a whole lot of sense to me, honestly. Very confusing. It feels very anti-Tiger agenda, which I'm used to. I've seen the way they treat Alabama, the way they treat all these other schools. They don't want to respect LSU, but everyone knows the best players in the league come from LSU. You look at the top 4 out of the top 7 receiving leaders in the league all come from that school. And they don't want to show any respect. Everyone always talks about, look at the rideouts from Alabama. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy sucks. Henry Ruggs, prison. Jalen Waddle, haven't seen him in weeks, so he's in my fantasy team. He's out there. He's playing. He doesn't do shit.
He's out there conditioning.
Devontae Smith, I'll give him credit. He's actually a good player, and he's been hurt. But everyone's like, those guys are sick. The rideouts, yeah. Justin Jefferson, probably the best receiver in the league. Jamar Chase, top 5. Malik Neighbors, probably the best rookie in the NFL. Like, pound for pound. Oh, and if you say he's not, then who is? Yeah, his quarterback, Jaden Daniels, LSU. Well, there's another rookie receiver, but she goes, yeah, Brian Thomas, LSU. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting to the point where we got to show the Tigers more respect.
Wow. Wow.
Fired up.
You feel like they've been disrespected?
I think it's a disrespectful ranking. I don't know how you could have Ole Miss above.
Yeah, I feel like Ole Miss should not be a top 10 team in the country after losing to an unranked Kentucky team.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess the committee put some respect on Kentucky because of how they played against Georgia, but they still lost.
They lost by 30 to South Carolina.
Yeah. Well,
who the Tigers beat.
Well, I'm assuming they're looking at their more recent losses.
Yep.
So if you're looking at their most recent losses, you say, oh, well, they bounced back when they played Georgia and they lost by 1.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. I feel like I would love for this game to be a shootout. I want to learn a little bit more about Garrett Nussmeier. I feel like since when we saw him week 1, I was like, and against South Carolina a little bit too. I was like, I don't know about this guy. Then he bounces back with a couple good performances. I'm still like, I don't know, because I can't.
No, Nuss been busting.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, he's been playing well, but
this is definitely his best test, the biggest test of the year. Though.
That's what I was getting at. This is his biggest test of the year, and this would be another statement win. I feel like also Kyron Lacey, like I kind of we'll see a little bit more from him this year. He's supposed to be your best receiver. I think he still is your best receiver, even though he might not be leading the team in receiving. I feel like he is your best receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to see a little coming out party from him. And honestly, I guess we'll really see if this LSU defense has stepped it up and has changed since last year. You know, this is a really high-powered offense coming into Baton Rouge, and I guess we'll see. We'll see what the defense is truly made of when they face this test.
Yeah, I need the LSU defense. They gotta look out for Trey Harris.
Yep.
One of the best receivers in the whole country.
Very underrated. Getting outshined by Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith right now.
Yeah, this kid's almost already at 1,000 yards. He's basically at 900 yards before we even get into this game. They need to just get someone on, whether it's Ashton Stamps, Woodyard, any of these guys, these corners at LSU need to step up and just kind of put a limit on them. The LSU receiving core is much more spread out. As you were saying, Kyron Lacey is probably the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
But everyone who they're playing against knows that. So Nuss has been doing a good job getting the ball to the other guys. Aaron Anderson, the former 5-star, committed to Alabama, came back home. He's from Louisiana. Come back to LSU. Didn't do much last year, but he's come on really big recently for the Tigers. They get him involved. And a recent thing in the running game is they got freshman Caden Durham been running wicked hard. All these guys need to step up because this is gonna be a hell of a test.
I really like Caden Durham. I kind of came on the scene against South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like his first like really big action for this LSU team. And then since then he's just been playing lights out. I remember against South Alabama, I think he took like a swing out.
Yeah.
And he took it 80 yards to the house, something like that, 75 yards to the house.
His first 2 touches, he had 160 yards.
Yes, that's ridiculous. So I really like this freshman in Caden Durham. I want to see how like to see how he plays. Also vice versa for Ole Miss. Like Harry was saying, they went to the portal, they beefed up their own line, and got guys that they think that help them contend for a national championship. So I want to see it.
Yeah, the defense too. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to see it because that has always been the knock on one of the knocks against Ole Miss. They don't really have the defense to win a national championship, especially their D line.
Yeah.
So I want to see it. I want to see what changes have really been made, and this is really really good test for both of these two teams to really see if their adjustments and changes during the offseason has worked out or not.
Yeah, you look at Henry Parrish, running back from Ole Miss, getting him in there. He's been filling in for Judkins, great.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you were saying, the D-line, they bring in Walter Nolan from A&M. One of the top recruits in the entire country a few years ago, and he's been playing great.
Yeah.
He's a beast in that D-line. When I think of Ole Miss D-lineman, the only one who can really come to mind in me is like Robert Nikomdici.
Yeah.
Remember him back then? He was
exactly.
I think he was a 1.0 recruit. He was one of the biggest recruits in the country, and he didn't really pan out. Athletic freak, but they need this Walter Nolan kid. He needs to fill this void. He's going against Will Campbell, Emory Jones. Either of those tackles are great NFL first round.
Yeah, those NFL guys right there.
So yeah, both these teams have so much to lose or so much to gain. I don't think they have that much to lose. Because you lose this game, you'll still probably be ranked, and it'll be a good loss on your thing. Because if you lose, you're not gonna win the national championship. But you still can build on your season.
Yeah,
it's not gonna end you. But if you win, you could get boosted into another tier that could really help you out later down the road. Like this is a really nice legacy win, not legacy win, like a resume building win.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a loss. Like I agree with you there. A loss here doesn't really hurt either of the teams, honestly. Because I feel like just with the way the SEC is looking right now, it's just like every team's gonna beat up on each other.
Yeah.
And so there's gonna be multiple chances to overcome this loss.
Yeah.
And it's honestly kind of amazes me that Texas A&M is leading the conference right now.
That's crazy to think about.
Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Considering how they looked against Notre Dame.
Yeah, but they haven't had to play anyone crazy yet.
Exactly.
Who they get last week? They
Missouri.
Beat Missouri. Yeah, that was a great win.
I'll
give them that.
That was that was kind of a statement.
That was a
because they beat them.
That was
they beat the brakes off of
Yes,
Missouri.
they did.
They beat the brakes off of Missouri.
Yeah, so
LB3 been a little absent this year.
Yeah, I don't think Brady Cook's that guy. I'm not a Brady Cook enjoyer.
Me either. Brady Cook,
get him and
Brady Cook does. Yeah, exactly. Brady Cook does not cook. Really, side note: did you see that the Texas A&M DBs said
William Lee?
Blanket?
William
oh
the
my
Blanket
God.
Lee?
Then he followed it
Yes,
up.
he did.
Oh my God, that's so.
That guy could play for me any day.
Dude, that's.
I love that.
Followed it up too by locking the
Some good SEC football.
Come on now, it doesn't get better than that. But back to this game. Yeah, I feel like I don't know, Mike. I kind of want to go Ole Miss here, but night game, Tiger Stadium,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be rumping.
the real Tiger Stadium.
Yep, it's gonna be going nuts.
I feel like the boys are gonna be ready to go. I feel like Gus is gonna have a statement win, and I feel like he's gonna play lights out. And I think LSU wins a close one. I'm gonna go 30-35.
I like that. I'm gonna turn it up a notch a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. Actually, I can visualize the game in my head. I see a lot of missed tackles from both teams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 42-39 LSU. It'll be a weird one. It's gonna be a high scoring game. Maybe a pick six for maybe both teams. Big momentum play, and the defense does nothing besides those.
It's just a track race down Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so those are the 3 premier games going into this week.
Yeah, how do you think Jackson Dart plays before we move on?
Jackson
real quick?
Dart,
What are your thoughts on Jackson Dart, man?
good college quarterback.
Not an
I think
NFL
I'll leave
guy.
it at that.
Yeah.
I think he's a good
Yeah.
player. He can play in the SEC. We've seen him light up the LSU defense before. But hopefully Blake Baker can give him some more confusing looks. Give him some, confuse him a little bit.
Yeah.
They can do that. I think he's very beatable. There's a reason when he went and played Georgia last year, he lost by 100.
Yeah.
Because that Georgia defense is on another level than what he's used to.
Fair.
Yeah, you can see it. Like, he's not the guy.
No, yeah, whenever I see him play, I just think good college quarterback.
It sucks
Not
because he has like an all-time cool quarterback name.
Jackson Dart.
Dart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like Kenny Pickett. You really want your quarterback last name to be Pickett. You know when he was at Pittsburgh, the kicker he kicked was on his team. You know what the kicker's last name was?
What?
Blew it. So you got a team whose quarterback is Pickett, and a kicker with the last name Blew it. Not on my team. Either change your name or beat it. I can't have that. Pickett. Really? Awful. Awful. And it was right. It was awful because he's now the Eagles' backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a first-round pick a few years ago. Him has 2 gloves. Now he needs to keep him on the sideline, keep him cold because he's on the bench.
Yeah. No reason to put those gloves on. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for this game. Like I said, I think LSU is gonna win a close one. I don't know. I feel like Jackson Dart's gonna throw like 2 picks this game. I see 2 from him.
Yeah.
Or like a pick and a fumble.
2 turnovers.
Yeah, 2 turnovers.
I can see. I'd love
Or,
that.
2 turnovers.
Make me smile. Yeah. All right. So those are the close games.
Yeah.
What's some long shots?
It's got to be Friday because we're doing long shots.
Long shot Friday.
Come on now. Not only is it the end of the week, we get to do long shots
One of
too.
my favorite times.
Give some love to some underdogs. Like,
Yep. You know how we get down with the underdog. You want to go first?
yeah, I'll go first. I'll go
All right.
first. All right, so start off my long shot for the week. You know, like we said, we love to give love to underdogs, man. It's what we live for.
It's my heart.
It's our everything. So my first underdog, my first long shot of the week, I'm gonna rock with Air Force Military
I
Academy.
respect the troops.
Come on now,
Love it.
Air Force. You know, people want to
Falcons.
talk down on Air Force. Weakest part of our military.
Yeah, call them the chair force.
Yeah. Like what?
True that.
Like those guys are still tough.
My grandfather's in the Air
Come
Force.
on now. I feel like they can go into their game this weekend and play their team hard. They're a military academy. There's no way they don't play hard.
They were in a sick option offense.
Exactly. And option offense is so hard to stop. And yeah, I'm gonna ride with the
Falcons.
Yeah, with the Falcons, man.
The Air Force Falcons gotta love that. God bless the USA. Got anything else to say about them?
Nah, man. Just
All right, I got my first one. You know, you can have like a little thing of snow, a very little ball of snow. and
yeah.
We're both from up north. You know what snow's like. A lot of people down this area not big on snow. Where's snow get?
Don't know what it is.
Little snowball, you get it rolling down the hill. Snow on that hill. It's a little bigger.
Uh oh.
A little bigger now.
Uh oh.
Oh, a little bigger now.
Oh no.
And Vandy is the littlest thing of snow ever. A little Vandy in the SEC.
Little snowflake.
We'll push down the hill. Oh, we beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's a pretty good win. Ball's rolling a little bit. All right. All right. Okay. It's rolling. Is that Alabama?
Oh Lord.
Oh, that's a big snowball. Yeah, now you got an avalanche coming at you. The Vandy Avalanche just took down Alabama. Biggest win in program history. Now they got Kentucky on their schedule. Quite frankly, I don't care who's on their schedule. Diego Pavia coming up talking to his hero, Johnny Manziel. No one gets you fired up like Manziel. My first long shot of the week is the Commodores are going to beat the Wildcats. They're going to beat them. They're going to beat them good, too. Fired up. The snowball is rolling. And Johnny Manziel, he hears snowball. He's getting all excited. He thinks it's cocaine. It's not cocaine. It is just a Vanderbilt offense coming at him.
Hopping on the Vandy train.
Yes, let's go.
Diego Pavia.
Yep.
Dude, you see his face lit up when he
Yes.
saw it? Dude, that would be my
That's
immediate,
pure childlike joy.
That would be my
love it.
immediate reaction.
I think if I saw, I think Manziel would give me that reaction. But if I saw, a Tom Brady, I think
Dude, you would cry.
I would.
I think
I'd be in
bawl.
shock. I'd either, start crying or screaming or I'd be like, Mr. Brady, thank you for all that. Made me smile as a kid. Oh, my God. I go nuts.
All right.
You know who my mom met?
What?
My mom and dad were at the an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
They met Deion Branch, the receiver. They got a nice picture of him.
Yeah.
And one of the tight ends is coming out after.
Yeah.
So okay, it's 2011. They go over and they hear Aaron Hernandez, the Pats tight end at the times, in this limo. Mom goes over knocking on the window. Window rolls down. Some small kid. She goes, "I'm not Aaron Hernandez." My mom gets tapped on the shoulder, but I am. Bam! My parents met Aaron Hernandez.
Just like that?
Just like that.
No way.
Said he was fun.
Yeah.
And the dopest part is, I still talk to my parents daily. They didn't get murdered or anything. Because that actually ended up turning out further his career. He did start murdering people. Which, the Patriots, they let, shit slide. Deflating balls, taping films. Apparently the team...
Cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Yeah.
Cheating.
Whatever. If you're
Cheating
not
to
cheating,
win.
you're not trying.
Cheating
You're
to
not
win.
cheating, you're
Cheating
not
to
trying,
win.
you're not cheating, you're not
Cheating
trying.
to win.
Okay, but we said no to murder. So that's the class organization. But yes, my parents did meet her.
Still drafted a murderer.
We drafted a troubled kid who grew into a murderer. We tried to give him a home, but whatever.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to my second long shot of the week. We'll go with Rice. All right. They're playing UTSA. UTSA is not a world beater. Rice University, I don't think they've ever been good at football. They've always been an underdog. I feel like they're an underdog in every game they go in.
I think you're never gonna be like a big bad team when you're named Rice.
Yeah. Yeah, Rice Owls. Like, you pick the owl as a mascot, not even like a
Hoot.
something. Yeah, like
Hoot. Yeah. We're the
like,
Rice Owls.
Ah.
Like Coastal got our ass kicked last night, but we're the Chanticleers. The Coastal Carolina.
We're the beach
Chanticleers.
chickens. We're the goddamn beach chickens.
Yeah, we got some grit.
We got some grit.
Yeah.
Dirty
Oh.
Myrtle. But anyways, I'm rocking with Rice,
The
man.
Rice Owls.
I'm rocking with Rice. They're only 3.5-point underdogs. I mean, that's a layup. Come on now.
Yeah.
You can cover 3-point. You can cover 3.5-point spread, and
Yeah.
you can maybe even win the game.
Yep.
They
They make him run down that road. The road runners.
Yeah.
Beat the bag out of him.
bro. Anytime you got a white running back named Dean Connors, what a name. What a name.
You ever seen the
Dean
movie The
Connors.
Longest Yard?
Yeah.
You know when Stone Cold Steve Austin runs the ball and he runs over and goes, that's how a white man runs the ball.
Exactly.
That's
That's exactly what Dean reminds me of. He's a white man that knows how to tote the rock.
2 hands on
and
that thing.
2 hands on it. You're not
You ever heard of a
stripping him.
juke? No.
No.
Truck?
I'm running you smooth
Yeah.
over, shoulder down, and I'm gonna keep trucking.
That's how we run it in Rice.
So
Where's he from? Is he from Texas?
My
He's
boy's
from Hawaii?
What? Holy Gotta be military based kid. Gotta be a military.
100%.
Gotta be a military kid. Isn't Rice kind of like a military school too? Like
The only thing I know Rice is that JT Daniels went there last year.
He
tossed
did go
the
there.
ball to Luke McCaffrey.
He did. Yeah, that is true.
He was
That is
nice
true.
there.
He was
He's nice in the league. He's like, JT Daniels good for
solid. Yeah.
I mean, he's not his brother, but who
Hey,
is?
exactly. But my boy Dean Connors, white man toting the rock. Hey, I'm gonna ride behind him. I'm ride behind him.
Plays
I'm
the
ride
right
behind
way.
Rice. Just a gritty guy.
Yeah.
He's not
So
not super athletic, but he's gonna get the job done.
gritty does the sneaky thing.
Gritty, yeah.
First guy in.
Does a little thing well.
First guy in, last guy out.
Yeah, exactly.
My let's just say I'm a Coastal guy, so it pains me to say this, but my next upset is I got Appalachian State. App State.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. You hate to hear it, but I got them beating the Raging Cajuns. App State kind of had a tough start to the year. They're supposed to be one of the best teams in the whole Sun Belt. They haven't lived up to it yet. I think they're going to right the ship and beat the Raging Cajuns. The whole community's been going through a lot with the hurricane hitting up in Boone. I think the team's going to give them something to be happy about. I can see them. Just a feel-good story up in App State, which sucks 'cause I hate those guys. But I think they get a huge win this week. But they don't in a few weeks when they come to Conway. But this week, I can see them. Yeah, I can see them beating the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna have something to play for.
Yeah, something like very.
Go into a game where you have something to play for definitely means a lot.
A little something.
Adds a little bit to your team. Maybe the football gods are on their side.
Yeah, remember when not that you remember, we were wicked young, but there's the thing where the Saints beat the Falcons after Katrina.
Yeah, dude, the
block
way they
punt.
beat them too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember watching it live, but you always remember hearing about it.
Yeah,
I actually
they talk about today. They still talk about that.
Yeah, I actually watched the documentary from that 30 for 30 because
Steve Gleason, the guy who did it.
Yeah, because I had to do that for a class, sports comm class. Literally just watched 30 for 30s for like half of the semester.
That's
Kind of
awesome.
sweet. It was kind of
That's
sweet.
definitely sweet.
Yeah, definitely like playing. That's a dangerous game.
Yeah, the boys from Boone coming
Yeah.
down Louisiana.
Dangerous game. All right, to end off my weekly long shots, my underdogs, my little guys that fight hard. I'm gonna go with USC. I'm pretty sure they're going to Happy Valley. Playing Penn State. Let me clarify this real quick.
It's in Cal.
Oh no, it's in Cali.
It's in the Coliseum.
Pretty sure the last time these two teams played
Yeah.
in California.
Football porn.
Oh my God.
Doesn't get better than
Oh,
Rose Bowl.
I don't think it does. I could see this game honestly being a shootout because Penn State somehow, some way, Drew Aller became a good quarterback.
He's getting the big Zamboni.
Somehow, some way, he became a good quarterback. This Penn State team could score. I feel like this could be a shootout, but I'm gonna ride with Lincoln Riley and the Trojans. Come off a bad loss.
Miller Moss.
in Minnesota.
Yep.
Who wants to go to Minnesota and play anyways? You know.
Minnesota. Yeah,
Exactly.
I wouldn't want to go there.
The boys got
They play outside too.
Come on now.
It's like at least when you're the Vikings, you're in a dome.
No, they play outside. Yeah.
That's
you remember when the
the
Vikings
Vikings
stadium
missed
was
the kick, like the Seahawks.
Yeah. Because they were getting their current stadium built.
Yes.
And they played at University of Minnesota's field.
I've heard some war stories about that one.
Yeah.
Like Cam Chancellor's hands being frozen off.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, Blair Walsh missed the kick.
Yep.
Seahawks advance. Seahawks keep advancing, go all the way to Super Bowl. And then that quarterback threw the ball.
Bro, as soon as you knew. They're not even at the top of the conversation right now. We didn't even talk about NFL today.
Got it.
Dude, we didn't even talk about NFL today. Somehow, some way, you brought it back.
All
No.
roads lead back.
No.
Yes.
No.
You wouldn't get it, bro.
Jesus.
It means something to me.
Let me do my long shot in peace.
Okay, let's hear it.
Please.
Lincoln Riley and the boys.
God, Lincoln Riley and the boys are going to be ready to go. Miller Moss going to be slinging that thing.
Yep.
All over.
Zach Branch.
Branch.
Kobe Hudson.
Zach Branch might just have the game of his life. I'm feeling it, Harry. On this Feel Good Friday.
Yep.
The weather's nice. Football weather. I'm feeling it. Zach Branch going to have the day of his life. Game of his life. Against Penn State.
Legacy game.
Legacy game.
Love the term legacy game.
Come on, Harry. Finish it off for us, man.
My last one. Talked about before, but they are a little bit of an underdog. So I'm going back with my lovely LSU Tigers. Yep, they're coming. That's my big thing. At home, you want to make us underdogs? At home in Death Valley. You know,
How dare you?
The last time LSU was home underdogs
Talk to him all.
at Death Valley. Oh, what's the Alabama Crimson Tide going to come to town?
Uh-oh.
We got something for you. Jaden Daniels, overtime game winner. Mason
Taylor.
He's still there. He's still ready to play.
Oh, he's ready to
Jaden
go.
Daniels, he's there in spirit. You know he's still rooting for the Tigers. Yeah, no, I think being home underdogs and playing in Death Valley never works out working well for the road team.
No. No, that's just a tough place to play.
Yeah, so I've talked about this game at nauseum, so that's my last long shot. A weaker one, definitely, compared when you look at the odds on it. But
very weak.
Still, it's the same thing as yours.
No, it's not.
It is.
USC's unranked.
Spread-wise, though. Like, if you look at the odds
okay.
statistics.
All right, yeah.
ESPN gives almost a 70% chance to win. I laugh at that.
That is kind of laughable. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of disrespectful too.
Yeah, I think that should be in the locker room right now, up on the bulletin board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we end the show off, we'll talk about the NFL.
Yeah.
A little something. Actually, the earliest game in the NFL window is something to monitor. Obviously, we talked about Robert Saleh being fired last week.
Yeah.
He was the third coach to be fired directly after a London game, which three doesn't sound that much, but there's not that many London games. You got Joe Philbin got fired in London. There was who was the other one? It was Joe Philbin and Dennis Allen, current coach of the Saints, but he was fired as the Raiders coach in London. I think we might get another one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Doug Peterson coming in 1-4. If they lose to the Bears, which they could easily do, the Bears are all right. The Jags aren't that good. I think they could leave poor Dougie P in the streets of London. I could see that
Might
happening.
not even be allowed to get back on the plane.
They might just. Sorry, Doug.
Dude.
Because the thing is, they play in London again next week.
Are you serious?
Almost positive they keep.
Dude, why does the NFL do this?
They do it to only them. I don't know what the Shad Khan did to these guys, but they literally only play in.
Dude, I would be so pissed having to stay. Like, that's not even a vacation, bro.
Yeah, it's just 2 weeks working.
It's like when you. It's not even like a 2-week working vacation. Like, cause like when you go to when you're not a professional athlete, you get sent out the country for work or whatever. It's like, oh, like, yeah, I get to work, but like I can, I have a little bit of free time.
Yeah, maybe go to a hotel bar, maybe check out some landmarks.
But these guys got to be in treatment, practice, film. Like, it's not really like.
It's a commitment.
It's not sunshine and rainbows.
No. Yeah, they have to do 2 weeks in London.
Yeah.
Brutal. And next week, I like Trevor Lawrence. I would consider myself a fan of his. Let's say he plays real poorly. Maybe. Never hope an injury. Never hope that. But Pats come to London next week. And there's nothing more I'd want to see than the Drake May-led Patriots beat the dog piss out of a Mac Jones-led Jaguars team. That'd bring tears to my eyes. But I don't want to see that because I like Trevor Lawrence. Hope he plays well and hope he doesn't get benched. Or, no, I don't. Have Mac Jones hold his little clipboard. Let's go beat the piss out of him and shove it in his face. That's all I'm looking forward to.
What did he do to you, bro?
He was awful and cried his way out of New England.
Well, I don't know. I feel like this isn't gonna end well for the Jags. I feel like the Jaguars are gonna lose this game, and I think Doug Pearson might be out of a job.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be the fourth coach.
I think he's gonna be out of a job, and I think the trend continues. And I don't know. I feel like Caleb Williams is gonna have a pretty good game.
He's been heating up. He's been better every single week.
That's what I was getting ready to get at. He's been getting better every single week. Him and his painted fingernails. Been throwing dimes.
Yeah.
Been throwing dimes. The ball's been getting there. DJ Moore's starting to come on. I think that's just a product of Caleb starting to get better.
Yeah, next thing we'll look at Rome going a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
And DeAndre Swift has woken up in the running game.
Yeah.
Which he looked like a corpse the first 3 weeks, and he's been running real hard the last 2 games.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe the Bears will be 4-2 at the end of this. I think they will be. Just these London games, man.
I mean, nothing worse than being a 1-4 team and then having to spend half a month in London.
Dude, these London games, these international games, the NFL is just getting too carried away with it. Like, it was cool when it was like one team or two teams going for one game in London.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Jaguars every single year are required to have a home game in London.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's an actual thing.
That's so ridiculous.
It's insane.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I don't know. They must be getting paid a shit ton of money or something, because I don't know why they never agree to this.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Jag, I guess one of must be a bunch of Jags fans now. They're there every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's why I don't think Dougie P makes it through his trip to London. And I think the Bears probably put a whooping on the Jags. Maybe not a whooping.
I think he's the only one that has actual vacation.
Yeah, if they fire him after the first London game, that might be kind of dope. They fire him after the second one, 2 weeks in London, now you get to go home.
Yeah.
They fire him before, like I'm close enough in Europe, I can go to some other fun European countries.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the show for today, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, we can wrap it up right there. Yeah, that's gonna be the show for this week, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, we appreciate all the love and support, the continued support. Really means the world to us. Me and Harry, we're actually looking at our insights and stuff like that on YouTube. Like, it's crazy how much to see like what we're doing right now.
Yes.
Only gonna get better from here. Like we said on the show Wednesday, like, we're trying our best for you guys too. We're not only doing it for us, we're doing it for you guys too. We just love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Means the world to us, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Caleb Harry signing off.
Yeah. Thank you all. Have a good weekend.